Same lineup tonight.
Same line.
Yeah.
Including Soros in that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bruno, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
I mean, just the way that game kind of concluded, you know, it felt like you really got a lot out of your defense and your goaltending. I mean, do you feel like it's going to be another one of those kind of games tonight, a tight defensive battle, or are you kind of anticipating more of a shootout?
Well, I think for us, and we've been in all kinds of games like that. That was probably, they're a tight checking team. The Islanders, they don't give you a whole lot. It was going to be that kind of game going in, and I liked their energy. That was a tough game for us with coming back from a trip. Those are the ones that coaches don't usually sleep, before, because you don't know what you're going to get. I thought our guys, especially, maybe not early in the first, but started playing with a lot of energy. I thought looked to our identity the rest of the game, and it was a fun game to win. I thought the building was energized all throughout, and hopefully we can build off that.
Bruno, you've been able to be around Ryan O'Reilly the last few years, but his older brother, Cal, I'm just kind of curious of just like how much maybe of an influence you've seen like an older brother have on a guy like Ryan, and to be the NHL guy that he is and won a Stanley Cup and all of that. Just wondering just what you see there, just overall.
Well, I think you always look up to your older brother and follow what he's doing, and I think he paved the path a little bit for Ryan to follow behind him. Being around Cal, we had brought him into Minnesota when I was upstairs. What he did to our young guys and what he brought was instrumental organizationally. And it's a lot like Ryan, where he's out early, he's out late, he's hockey, working on his game. And then they have a wonderful personalities that they're leaders, and they're helping everybody that's around them. We had some young kids down in Iowa that really learned a lot off of him, not just the before and after, but the power play stuff, the in-game places where, there's constant communication to find the soft pockets or get yourself in this area, that area. And so we were really lucky to have Cal, and it was for that group of young forwards that we had down, Eriksson and even Luke Cunnin and some of these guys to be around him, really helped their careers. And so I think for Ryan, Cal, I'm sure, was instrumental in his career too.
Bruno kind of got lost in the shuffle of Saros and everything on Thursday with Phil's shootout goal. One, what did you think? And two, is it kind of automatic, like that's one of your guys, and then just be someone who has that capability in that sense?
Yeah, I think he was mad, and he was going to score. I don't think he kind of had that attitude. I think he was mad at himself a few plays, one play in overtime in particular. And usually when Phil's mad, good things happen. And I kind of had the feeling there's no way that, even how he put it under the bar, there's no way the goalie had any chance to stop it. He was leaving no margin for a save there, and it was a really nice goal.
Andrew, during this stretch of 14 wins in 21 games, your team's given up the first goal, I want to say, 16 times. You've won 9 of the games, which is impressive. Like you're playing with fire a little bit, falling behind so much?
Absolutely. We bring it up every day. Like I said a little bit earlier, maybe we should stop bringing it up. It's really hard in our league to chase games, and I think our record with when we score the first goal hasn't been that many games, but I think it's pretty good. I can't remember what it was. I saw it, but it's a mindset, a focus that we have. Sometimes you can't control some things. You can't control Connor McDavid on a power play when he goes around everybody. Those are unfortunately uncontrollable things at times. Everybody's trying to, but it is definitely concerning. You can live with one like the other night, halfway through the second, but when it's the first 5 minutes, those are the ones that sting and put you behind the 8 ball. And we've been lucky to come back, but it's not sustainable to fall behind every night.
What has allowed the rush game to flourish over the past several weeks? It seems like as the team has been winning more, you've been able to play that style of game a little bit more than maybe you were.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit, through the off season, just a little. Our focus was on a few different things, and we kind of lost a little bit of our focus on how we get out of our zone and some of the things that we do that make us, I wouldn't say successful off the rush, but give us a lot of opportunities off the rush. Obviously, we still have trouble executing, but we've had way more chances. So I think it was just a little bit more the emphasis on that part of the game, which I think historically the teams that I've had here coaching, we've been we get a lot of opportunities off the rush, and I didn't think we were early, but I also wanted to make sure we dialed in a certain part of our game that was important, some of the changes, and you can only change, you lose a little bit of that focus, and you kind of lose your rush chances. So I think we really tried to focus on that part of it.
For Svechkov, it's been a tough year for him. He's got 1 point in his last 10 or 12 games. Has there been any conversation about what if you send him down for a few games to Milwaukee, just get his game back, or you just want him to kind of struggle through it here?
Well, I think you got to sort of, it's part of being a pro at this level. You worry about him. There's definitely been conversations. And I think he's just been inconsistent. Can we get that more consistent effort out of him? I really liked his game the other night against the Island. I didn't think he was very good on the road trip. You start worrying, and then he shows you this. So you're like, okay. And then, if we, he's coming, he's going to, hopefully we can stack a couple of games. And unfortunately, that's been the whole season with him a little bit, where he gives us a little bit. And I think he had a little stretch where he was, after he got his first goal, I thought he had a good 2 weeks there where he's playing to our expectations. But you worry about him for sure.
What are the small things that he does well over that stretch when he is playing good?
Well, I think when you see him playing good, he's really skating. And he's skating through the middle of the ice, and we desperately need that speed through the middle. So that's where I think, we probably don't have a player to replace him in Milwaukee with that speed through the middle and that size. And then he's strong on pucks. He seems to have the puck a lot. I think when he's not playing well, he's not skating through you don't notice him through the middle of the ice, and he loses a lot of little puck battles. So I think for us, we're continuously working on him to try to find that level every day, because we desperately need him to be him through this stretch if we want to get to where we want to go this year.
Andrew, have you seen a different level of UC Saros since the beginning of December? He's stolen a lot of games. I think the game the other night would classify as a steal, but any differences in the way he's been focused, locked in since the beginning of December versus the first couple months of the season?
I think, yeah, you feel it a little, especially last night, and there's every win we had, he's instrumental in making some big saves at the right times. Even you can think back to the Toronto game, stopping a breakaway against Austin Matthews was a huge point that everybody forgets to remember about that. But the game could have went tilted the other way very easily there. He's been exceptional. But yeah, I definitely know he's a little bit more dialed in. I thought he started off really good. For the first 10, I thought the second 10, we weren't great in front of him. We're dealing with some injuries, and he wasn't maybe as good as he normally is, and then he's been excellent since then.